Welcome to the convention today. It's a pleasure to see everyone. I'm Dr. Kelly Birkenstock, have an office in Mandeville and in Metairie. Today we're going to be talking about weight loss. There's a million fad diets, there's a million tricks, and most of them do not work. Has anybody ever tried a diet that didn't work? Sugar Busters, Jenny Craig, Aspen. I think I did all three of them. Weight loss is more than just a diet. It is a whole constitution of symptoms, which we're going to go over one by one. So let's talk more about it now. Dare to be thin. Skinny approach. Methodology to skinny success. We all know the answer is not just one thing, because if it were, or if it were easy, we'd be there by now. We can do it, but it does take a method and looking at the whole picture. So let me tell you a little bit about what that picture is. Weight loss isn't just about calories consumed, and it's just not about exercise expended. If it was, we would all be at our optimal weight. When we talk about weight, it is based on multi-parameters. Your thyroid, your sugar level, your vitamin, amino acid, and mineral level, whether or not you've got a leaky gut, any food allergies you may or may not have, your hormone balance, and the biggest piece of the puzzle, your DNA. We're going to talk more about why and how DNA affects your weight. When we get into middle age, most of us have a sluggish thyroid. It doesn't mean it's broken. It doesn't mean we have a major thyroid disorder. But if the thyroid is sluggish, it needs to be corrected. The thyroid needs to be optimal. Well, what is the optimal functioning of a thyroid gland? It's when it's a certain two numbers in the blood work. A TSH of 0.5 to 1 and a free T3 of 3.8 to 4.2. When we're outside of those parameters in T3 or T4, which are both thyroid hormones, then the metabolism gets very slow. In addition to that, we can have all kinds of symptoms: moodiness, dry hair, weight gain, fatigue, rashes, loss of hair, loss of eyebrows. Then there's the insulin and the sugar issues. A little bit of high blood sugar may not be quote-unquote full-fledged diabetes, but a little bit of high blood sugar turns on your cortisol, turns on your inflammation, your free fatty acid, and then you're making fat cells. Well, if we tame down the blood sugar, guess what happens? We don't gain all that extra weight. So if we have two people, one is stressed out and eats, say for example, a pancake, and we have someone else that's not stressed out that eats a pancake, the person that's stressed out eating the pancake built more free fatty acid and more fat cells off that pancake than the one that was calm. So stress plays a factor, sugar plays a factor, and insulin, the insulin cascade, plays a factor. Leaky gut. What is a leaky gut? This is when your stomach and your gastrointestinal tract, small bowel, large intestine, and stomach, are leaking toxins into your body, bloodstream, what have you. What happens when it leaks is that it turns on, again, that whole familiar word, inflammation cascade. And when we turn on that inflammation cascade, we turn on cortisol and other bad hormones that are there for flight or flight. They're there for emergencies, but in the day and age that we live now, they're getting turned on for other things, which are making us gain weight. A leaky gut can happen from so many things: taking ibuprofen, aspirin, any anti-inflammatory pain relievers, Celebrex. It can also happen from taking antibiotics. So we knock out the bad bacteria, we knock out the bad fungus, we also knock out the good. So it has to be replenished. Having physical stress or psychological stress can knock out your normal gut microbes and cause a leaky gut. So even if we were eating the salad, and even if we were drinking the water, we could still be gaining weight. Why? Because of the leaky gut. Because you're not going to absorb your vitamins and minerals. You're going to turn on the craving cascade, turn on the inflammation cascade. Food allergies. So there's a whole complex on food. One of the things is called diet cure, and it's not being on a diet, it's eating a diet that's appropriate for your system. Many of us don't know what foods we're allergic to. A type 4 allergy, a major allergy, is going to cause your throat to close down, major hive reaction, and you know you have a problem. You go to the emergency room and they give you medication, and they give you an EpiPen to take with you whenever you eat that, whether it's shrimp or whether it's strawberries or what have you. If you've got a 1, 2, or type 3 food allergy, you may not even know. Most of the time you don't. The next day after you eat the strawberry, the egg yolk, rosemary, sage, parsley, or thyme, herbs, you wake up with a headache or feel sluggish, or you're snapping at the family and you don't know why. It can be from food allergies. So we have food panels available to us that pull over 200 foods. If you eat a food, this is a pretty demonstrative one here, but for example, if you eat a food that you're majorly in the avoid category, type 3 category, then you're going to provoke the whole inflammation cascade. Say, for example, this particular person on the screen is very allergic to egg whites. So she may think, or he may think, they're doing something very good by buying those very expensive egg white cartons and not doing the whole egg because they're trying to avoid the egg yolk, when in fact they're feeding this inflammation cycle in their body, and the body does not tell them, except via a headache or just not feeling well or feeling bloated, that something's gone wrong. It's not until we pull a food allergy panel that we know in fact that there's lots of foods we have to absolutely avoid. If it's something in the low stage 1 allergy category, you can have those once or twice a month, for example. Then we have hormones, male hormones, female hormones. When your male and female hormones are not in proper alignment, when the orchestra is not playing properly, say for example, if you're young and you've got polycystic ovarian syndrome, or you have severe cramping periods, or you may have cysts in the uterus, such as fibroids, cysts in the ovaries. This is all a clue that your hormones aren't balanced, and that's going to cause things like acne, food cravings, weight gain, through the whole cascade of hormonal events. When we get to middle age and above, we stay in menopause. Once a female loses her monthly menstruation cycle, she's in menopause for the rest of her life. If we don't address that for the female, all kinds of things happen. Cardiovascular problems, bone loss, moodiness, foggy brain. When we correct those female hormones with whatever she may be lacking, and most of the time it's all three, estrogen, and not just estrogen, but estradiol and estriol, progesterone and testosterone, DHEA, sometimes pregnenolone. When we balance those hormones with bioidentical or natural hormones, which you apply topically and you avoid a tremendous amount of the bad side effects of the ones that you swallow, when you balance that cascade, the weight drops off. In addition, the mind gets clear, the night sweats go away, the hot flashes, the libido improves, moods improve. But it's not just women who are playing this game. It's men. Men can go into a state of andropause. Most do, at least to some extent. In andropause, when the testosterone goes down and the estradiol can go up, which is a type of estrogen, progesterone may go down or up, men get fatigued, low energy, weight gain. They get a protuberant or a large abdomen. Their libido goes down. Their zest for life goes down. This abdomen weight gain in the man is very dangerous. It can be and will be the precursor for diabetes sometimes, blood pressure, stroke, heart attack. So for the man in andropause and the woman in menopause, we want to treat those hormones to prevent not only weight gain, but also the deterioration that can happen in midlife and after. Another part to weight balance is vitamin deficiencies. Now, we can have a vitamin deficiency if we're not eating the vitamin. We can have a vitamin deficiency if we're not absorbing the vitamin. Why wouldn't we be absorbing the vitamin? Does anybody remember? I spoke about it earlier. Leaky gut. So if I have a leaky gut, I can eat the asparagus and the broccoli, which are all wonderful and great. But if my gut's leaking and it's inflamed and the good bacteria, the good yeast, the good fungi aren't there, I'm not absorbing those vitamins and minerals from the good diet that I am eating. A third thing, just as important, often overlooked, are the amino acids. The amino acids, like your asparagine, glutathione, NAD. When those amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, aren't absorbed and we don't have enough of those in the brain, not only do we send out cravings and gain weight, we get depressed. We think we have ADD. We can look schizophrenic and feel schizophrenic. What has been shown is if we replace those amino acids in the brain, a lot of times we can cure the mood and get people off of a lot of unneeded medications. Sometimes not, depends on the type of mood disorder is present. But it's absolutely amazing what can be done in curing the mood, just a metamorphosis of the mind with proper nutrition. So the final piece to our picture is the DNA makeup. We swab you in the oral mouth for DNA. We run that test and we get 24 genes that give us a whole book about you. Not your neighbor, not your sister, not your brother, but about you. And it tells us how your body's built, what nutrients you need to absorb, and how much of them, percentage-wise. It tells us 5 parameters about your brain. It also tells us when your metabolism is faster or slower during the day. That's one of our newest genes. So in general, we always say what? Eat early in the day, because if you don't eat early in the day, you're gonna gain weight. That's true for the majority, but not for the minority. There are some people that's metabolism turns on at different parts of the day or evening. So for them, the proper thing is to eat at that point in the day and not in the morning. And we know that from your DNA. We also, in the DNA, get a lot of information about your exercise potential. So in the DNA, you may have fast twitch fibers, or you may have slow twitch fibers, or you may have a combination of fast and slow twitch. Again, your DNA would show us that. Well, how does that benefit me? Well, if you're built of fast twitch fibers, I need to send you out there doing aerobics, okay? You're going to burn more fat doing what you're built for. Any kind of exercise is wonderful for the brain, the heart, the lungs, the mood. That's great. If we're specifically talking about burning a fat cell, then I need you doing things that are going to open up the oxygen cascade to burn the fat, and that's going to be the way you're built. So if you're slow twitch muscle fibers, I'm going to want you to go for long walks and long bike rides because you're built differently. It's about aerobic and anaerobic and different things like that. Suffice it to say for this conversation, fast twitch, slow twitch. What if you're a combination? Then I'm going to tell you walk around the block and then run up the stairs. Then walk around the block, then run up the stairs. Or that's also known as interval training. Another piece of this pie with the DNA is that it tells you sort of a recipe for how you should lift weights. So if you're a mixture of slow and fast twitch, you would do moderate weights, moderate interval, moderate reps, 60-second break in between. So if I pick up my weights and I do 8 reps with the 10-pound weights, and I put it down, before I start for my second set, I need to go do a leg, right? Because I have to wait 60 seconds because my DNA said I'm a moderate. So I need 60 seconds before I pick up the hand weights again. So I do my leg set, then I turn around, by then 60 seconds has gone, and then I do it. That may be a little confusing, but it's all in your DNA report. Another important thing, this is how the food pyramid that the American Association puts out about how everyone should eat. Well, if I ate like that, I would look like this again, because that's not how I'm built. That's got a predominant amount of carbohydrates at 65% on the bottom of the rung, and that's got a 15% of fats up at the top, and then meat and dairy, it's got approximately 20%. Well, my DNA report says I'm a 30-30-40. 30% fats. So my top triangle is a whole lot bigger than that, right? It's not really a triangle, but my top portion, fats, 30%. My protein, 30%. I need a lot more protein than they want to give me. And then for carbohydrates, 65%, I'm 40. So much, much less carbohydrates for me. But what applies for me doesn't apply for my sister, my cousin, or my neighbor across the street. It's very individual based on your DNA. So our plan, Dare to Be Thin, to achieve skinny success, it's not a diet. It's not a phase. It's a lifestyle change. And it's permanent. We're going to cleanse you and detox you. We're going to put you on a weight loss phase and a stabilization. And then we put you through maintenance for life. And it works. We have Miss Kathy. Kathy, would you mind coming up? Kathy joined us about a year and a half ago, was it? Yesterday was her 2-year anniversary. Kathy, when you joined us, how much did you weigh, if you don't mind telling us?
193 pounds.
And how much do you weigh today?
155 pounds.
All right, Kathy. Was the weight loss program hard?
No, the most difficult part I had was learning what I needed to eat because I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Dr. B and her team helped me with that. So I had to learn what was better for me to eat. Protein, more protein, less carbohydrates. And I never would eat fat. And I wouldn't eat during the day. I would only eat one meal a day. And I thought that's the way you were going to lose weight. And I had to learn how to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then snacks in between. So that's
And is it enough food? Are you ever hungry?
No, I'm never hungry. In fact, sometimes I'm forcing that last portion in the evening.
Thank you, Kathy, so much. Thank you for joining us. So one of the most important parts of our weight loss program, and it's a life-changing program, undoubtedly everyone tells us it's too much food to eat. It's just too much. So this is just the basics. We cleanse, we detox. We have a lighten up juice. It's a proprietary blend that we have, and that helps you cleanse and detox while you're eating fruits and vegetables and other things that are on the 3-day cleanse. Then you go into the weight loss weeks, which is personalized for you. We have nutritional counselors that are there for you to give you support. So if you're at the grocery store and you don't know what to buy, you text them and they're going to give you direction on that. Then we have a maintenance for life. So it fixes it for life. This is Charlie. He's lost over 100 pounds with us. He was one of those people that fasted all day, went home at night, and then the binge began. He works a very, very heavy exercise-induced job. So he just couldn't understand why it was so hard for him to lose weight. But it was based on he was eating entirely wrong for his DNA matrix, and he was eating entirely wrong times of the day. Here's Zamora. She's lost 86 pounds. She's still maintaining. And there's Miss Kathy. One of the most important foods out there that is absolutely toxic to your brain, toxic to your body, and toxic to any attempts to maintain weight is high fructose corn syrup. Is everybody familiar with that? Sometimes it's called corn syrup solids, high fructose corn syrup. It's found in every Kellogg's cereal, Miracle Whip, lots of different salad dressings. Nabisco, many of the Nabisco wheat thins and chips and all kind of things. It's found in most peanut butters. They've finally started making some peanut butters, and they'll say clearly on the label, no high fructose corn syrup. The best peanut butter is when you walk to the machine and press the button. The Rouse's stores, Whole Foods, and Fresh Market have that now. So you're getting no salt, no chemicals, no preservatives, and you can make your own peanut butter. This one has the high fructose corn syrup. Chex Mix, full of corn syrup solids. Donuts, of course. Pancake mix, pancake syrup, ketchup, mayonnaise, just a few things. So when you're picking snacks and something good to eat, you want to go after things that don't have chemicals and preservatives. Greek yogurt, slice of cheese, nuts, and of course, any fruit and vegetable. Thank you.